All right, this is a special production. I guess this is the Justinspire podcast. So yeah, this is gonna be rough editing because we're gonna have to figure this out. But I wanted to make sure the mics and everything is working. So for this episode, I think we should we just had a pretty dope conversation. We talking about how to handle conflict.
Yeah,
Do you want to run back everything we talked about and just go through it?
we can.
All right. What up, y'all? Growing up in Baltimore City, or even we can go back to where I'm from, growing up in Southside Queens. One of the things I realized to get to 38, to get to 100, as a black man, you really got to learn how to manage your situations. And sometimes we in situations that we can't manage. So today, me and my co-host Cal, we're gonna talk a little bit about how we deal with conflict.
Like growing up in Baltimore, you just gotta have a mindset of like it's gonna be a lot of drama no matter where you go at. But like you just gotta learn how to walk away from certain situations. Certain of it is not even worth it. Like it's not even about respect or all that because you can get into it with somebody you don't know, and then turn out they don't even got a mindset for themselves, so they just going off of crashing out like everybody covering. This guy.
One thing I always try to remind people is hurt people hurt people. Like if you feel good about yourself, if you happy, if you got what you need, it's not in you to want to hurt nobody. Like if you ever watch people fight, nobody can be just happy with life and then go into a fight. You really can't do it. It don't make no sense. It's when you are missing things and when you're hurt that you have that willingness to hurt other people.
Yeah, I had that right. As long as you got the mindset of what you want to do, like for instance, you want to go play in the NBA, your mind should be on that NBA dream, not on the drum outside of it. I'm pretty sure Steph Curry, all them, they got where they got at because they focused and pursued their dream.
But I mean, that's real, and I'm definitely not disagreeing with anything you're saying. But I do want you to pause to consider the kind of life that Steph Curry and them had. They don't have to worry about the same distractions that me and you had to deal with, you know?
Yeah, like for instance, like it's a lot of stuff I got going on. I got situations with family members where though some of them don't like me, some of them like me, but at the end of the day, they can't stop me from doing me. Don't ever let nobody try to interfere with what you got going on. If you want to be something and if people blocking you off, you just gotta learn how to. Now it's gonna be situations where though you just gotta do what you gotta do between that situation. But
What you mean by that?
like for instance, it'll be people that'll approach you about it in Baltimore. That's just how they want to see drama, and they're gonna do it out loud so everybody can see. You want respect. That's how it goes.
So I mean, I feel you, but even in there approaching you, you don't think you could just walk away? Like, what stops that?
I mean, it's just depending on who the person is. If you know the person, you know what they do and how they get down. You just gotta know how to move around it. Because I got in a situation where though I had to fight my brother. Now I can't say it could have been better ways to close that off, but sometimes it's just stuff happens for a reason.
What you think was the reason if you had a fight?
I say it taught me that it taught me more so of how to approach a situation like that now. Because you gotta go through something to be able to know what to do.
Well, what was the situation? How did y'all get to the scrap?
All right, so it was problems with him threatening my mother, threatening my family, whatever. I wasn't really focused on it too much. I was just trying to get home. It's a fresh day after school, whatever.
Gotcha.
If I get up the train, where the trains is, it's an escalator, it's an escalator. If want to go up and if want to go down. The elevator, I don't really like to use the elevator, so I wasn't that really. But I'm walking, he stepped in front of me. When he stepped in front of me, somebody else next to him. They both stand in front of me. So I'm right there. I'm trying to think of what I can do.
So, yo, Kels, real quick, because I feel like for anybody listening, we are missing some details. You and your brother don't live together.
Nope.
All right, because I feel like when you said all that, people probably think y'all in the house is going on crazy.
Yeah, we don't live together.
So when you was in Mount Diamond just now, you didn't expect him to be there.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was. Then I had AirPods and music playing. So I'm not even really zoned in on what's around me. But sometimes I don't be sometimes I don't be on my P's and Q's. Sometimes I just be on the move to get to where I'm going at. Because I don't like to be outside.
Nah, I got you.
I definitely don't like to be outside. I was walking, he stepped in front of me, and his homeboys. I was going to meet my homeboy because I usually help him get on the bus because he ain't got no phone. So I knew if I turned around, he could have swung and hit me. So I'm just looking at him, but I'm backing up as I'm looking at him. So I'm walking backwards. He's in front of me. Okay. But I'm walking backwards so that I can see what he's doing at other time. So then he swung on me. Once he swung on me, that's when I lost it.
Understood. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Now, what I can say is it is definitely ways to prevent stuff like that. Maybe I could have said something to him that made him walk away. It's a lot of stuff I could have did. Just after a swing, I wasn't really on what to do now. I got to fight.
I mean, fighting in public, for me, I'm always going to think about that. I'm a man. So if I fight in public, it means I'm getting arrested. And I don't want to go to jail. I can't afford that. Yeah. So I always tell people, anyone that's trying to do that to me, chances are they can afford to go to jail. They ain't got nothing to lose. I think I made a post on my joint yesterday. I think I told somebody, I go to jail, I lose everything. You go to jail and you get some health care. Meaning that you don't see it as a loss because you ain't got nothing to lose. But me, I've really worked for a whole lot in my life. You know what I'm saying? You just talk about this lady came here, all those opportunities.
He just gave us a whole bunch.
You know what I'm saying? But I literally put in 18 years of work, and I can show you it took me 18 years for that moment to just happen.
Yeah.
How old are you?
14.
That means I've been working with this before you was even born. You feel me? But sacrifices, you know? I mean, I can tell you something. I'll be vulnerable. I remember in 7th grade, I was walking from my English class, this kid, Sean. Sean was bigger dude, but we were kind of cool. I was a little kid myself, but I don't know what it was. Matter of fact, it wasn't middle school, it was junior high school. I was in 9th grade because he was in 8th. Because I've always felt like the kids a year behind me when I was in grade school were always mad immature. But that's because I had to restart the 1st grade. So I was literally a year behind. I've always been cool with older people because I'm supposed to be with them, I feel like. But anyway, I don't know if I bumped him or something. I don't know what it is, but he slapped the shit out of me. But he slapped the mess out of me. But hold on, but let me finish. I was caught in shock. Like, whoa, what just happened? And then one of my classmates, this kid named Joe Malaz, I'm gonna give you a shout out, man, because this is a good deed. He just kind of grabbed me, was like, "Hey, Justin, what's going on, man? What's that guy's problem? Are you okay? I just assaulted you." And I'm like, so Joe Malaz is white,
yeah.
So I'm realizing a white person is concerned about me, but my people would have been like, "Yo, you ain't gonna hit him back. You're not gonna scrap. What's up? What's up?" I never been suspended from school before. I always wanted to go to college, and I knew the minute you start getting suspensions and all that, it just kind of killed that dream for the bigger schools.
I ain't really lying. I definitely been suspended.
I mean, things have changed. Now remember, I graduated high school in 2004. A lot's changed since then, so that doesn't hold true now. But back then, a lot of that stuff was like a death sentence. But let me finish this stuff. I didn't do anything to Sean, but I realized I kind of had like a little sense of things back then. Sean was what you call a kid that's in special ed. Mm-hmm. He had classes in a special classroom, didn't even have a window. All right. That means that he had a lot of issues going on. So that's probably why he would react to me like that. Because he's not in his right mind. And since he's not in his right mind, it makes no sense for me to go and do anything with him. I'm not going to get nothing out of it. Not to say that maybe I could have won the fight, but what am I really getting from that? It's not boxing. I ain't getting no championship. And to be honest, them problems don't do nothing for me.
Another thing is like, all right, for instance, when something go down or whatever, and you like if you get into it with family members, people outside of the street, any of that, like if you feel as though something gonna be wrong, I always was taught when you get your mind off of it and put your mind on whatever you got going on. I'm working or I make music or interviews, podcast, whatever you do, I say put your mind to that. Cause all that nonsense everybody doing, y'all gonna put a life to that. Believe in that.
I agree with you on that.
Because karma is real. Karma is definitely real. So If they want to be out here, shootouts and fighting, banging, all that ain't even worth it. It's 2024. A lot of everybody growing up the TikTok, technology, all that. So that's just going to come with a part of life because that's all that's on social media, drama. So I say.
Now, I kind of want to speak on this though, man, because you kind of bring up a good point. Social media for y'all, man, that drives things a little different. I think it also makes it sometimes harder to walk away from things. Like I think about how I just told you that kid Sean slapped me. Any of my friends from high school see this, they probably never knew that happened because it was just an isolated moment. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
now it's cameras.
If somebody would have recorded that, I'm going viral, I probably would have felt the need that I gotta do something now because it's just too much.
And then on top of that, we live in Baltimore. All against instigators. If I get in a fight, I could lose the fight. As soon as I on my way home, 9 times out of 10, half of the city done seen the video. So I'm walking home now, 10, 15 people walking up to me, yo, you just got banked. You ain't gonna do nothing to get back about that. That's just what it is now.
That's like wild.
You can't lose a fight now. Like no matter who you is, like you cannot lose a fight because it's going to go on social media. And once they get on that social media, it's just like the whole world see it after that.
So how do you protect yourself from that?
That's why I stay in the house or I'm in the county. And I don't say that to be a punk or whatever everybody call it. I say to stay out of drama. Like that's just part of it.
I really want to give you some definition on a punk, man, because I think a lot of times when I was your age, I had a misunderstanding of it, and I feel like you might get a misunderstanding of it too. A lot of people think a punk is someone that just avoids the drama. And in reality,
that's just them minding their business.
And it actually, you got to be strong to be in these kind of environments and not fall in line and do it. It's a lot of group mentality and hood mentality. It's a lot of sheeps, like a lot of thugs in the gangs. They want to say that they independent, but you're really not because you're following a code. You do that to feel safe. Yeah. Right? So it's actually brave to do your own thing.
I grew up. It was in a little part. We call it L&D, but right there, it was so much going on, like fights, shootouts. You go to sleep, you getting woke up to gunshots, all that. That's Baltimore, no matter where you go at, county, city, downtown. That's just Baltimore. You just gotta always remember who watching you. Somebody always watching you. It's God. It can be peers. Like I always think of it as I got people that want to see me win.
There you go.
So I see my homeboy fighting. Now, if he getting banked or something, yeah, I'm out. But if it's a one-on-one fight, all that banking, all that jumping, all that, I'm not with that.
So I just want to caution you, Cal. And yes, we got to protect our peoples, man. You can't just sit there and watch them, but just be mindful, man. Sometimes you put yourself in a dangerous situation. Sometimes that something ain't meant for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I would say the best thing we could do, man, is try to help our friends avoid those kind of conflicts. So we ain't got to do nothing like that.
And when you got people that depend on you, it make you feel good, right? Yeah. It make you want to pursue or whatever you got going on. And whatever that you got going on, focus on it. So when you do achieve it, now you can go move somewhere where you always wanted to go at and look at the people that wanted all the drama. You looking at them, they still doing the same thing at 30, 40 years old.
Can kind of speak to that. It be like that sometimes, man. But you know what? It's also a blessing when you see people that were knuckleheads when you were like 14, 16 years old and you see them in their 30s, got their stuff together. It's beautiful. Because at the end of the day, man, I don't think we want to see our community bad. We want to see everybody doing better. So, like, whatever we can do to inspire, man, that's why we having this talk right now.
Yeah. You gotta focus, like that's all it be. You gotta be on your P's and Q's. You just gotta make sure you can't let nobody get to your head.
You gotta protect that head.
If they get in your head, now you're gonna be worried about them too much. When you got this going on and this going on, like for instance, if we was never focused on what we perceive, we probably wouldn't have had that off and just walked in.
No, we about to talk about that too because you might as well since we got the camera going, y'all. So I'm gonna tell y'all. Me and Kels was just sitting there just chilling like we do.
Regular conversation.
I didn't think to cut the mics on. I'm just thinking we just being brothers, just building. A principal comes in here from Harlem Park. I'm saying the names, y'all, because you need to pay attention because the names are always going to matter in a matter of moments. She comes from Harlem Park. She sees me and Kel's talking. She goes, "Oh my God, what is it that you guys do? Do you guys podcast on a regular?" I'm like, I try to I raise money for this equipment. I'm kind of passionate about, getting young men into storytelling. I think it's a way for us to heal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell our stories. She goes on this rant about how like she's looking to get podcasts going on, and she offers me an opportunity to either work at her school or just do business with me because, as you guys know, this podcast is to promote Justinspire85 LLC. My gift to the boys of the world. Tell you all in the gentlemen. But she starts telling me about how she's trying to transform her school over, and how much this is so dope.
That took a lot.
And I'm not gonna lie, what got me, and I got kind of emotional from the Kels, is because she asked me, what do you do? Who are you? And she started to tell me that she's gonna do a professional development at the Harlem Children's Zone. Have I ever heard of the Harlem Children's Zone? I said, ma'am, I started at the Harlem Children's Zone 10 years ago. So you're going to train with the people that I used to work with. You're going to work. You're going to get trained at the very building where I pounded them halls, where I was talking to them kids, doing this work, where my passion started at. You going to my source. I feel like it's almost like God ordained, like you really, all this synergy in this room, like I do this organically. And she just walked in here, and I'm telling them, it's like, bro, sometimes we really are preparing for our moment. And it's almost like between the grad school, the struggles I've been through in life, 18 years, she just walked in the door and it made me an offer on it. And I'm like, I can't believe that. I was talking to my mom last night about how, like, yo, I'm tired of this world not acknowledging me for all I do. And literally, it just happened.
Just gave both of us an opportunity because she just gave me an opportunity to get paid.
And
but
you
just
best believe we're going to do it.
Just talking to kids. Like, I ain't going to say I got the best connection with every child. But everywhere I ever lived at, everywhere I ever moved at, when I'm walking, I always get acknowledged. Like, I always get called. Like, for instance, as soon as I walk out the school building, somebody, Boo J, somebody, Boo J. And it's just because me, like, I like to help the young ones. I ain't that old, but anybody under 14, I like to try to talk to them, like, cause
it's the man in you.
It's gonna be situations where it's gonna be tight. Like, for instance, I used to live in a shelter.
That's right.
And I was broke.
Bro, I've been broke, homeless.
Yeah, so
6 months.
It was like I ain't know what to do. I wasn't the oldest, but I was the oldest in the house because of what I had going on with my brother and my mother.
Got you.
So I had to come to that point where it was just like, I need to do something. Get us out this jam. I got connected with a few people. We was going out that shelter in like a week or two. Now we just got thrown the vouchers. Now we ready to move in a bigger home space. Like, it just all be about, you can't just be so aggressive with everybody because some people can bring more experiences in life. Like, some people, like, for instance, Lil Baby, all these rappers, all these rich people, they didn't make it by themselves. Yeah, they kept going. It take them to, but you get connections throughout how your demeanor is.
Facts.
If you focus, like, I can't go do a show if I'm yelling at the show owner because of a situation that happened or anything. You always gotta have that demeanor of
be a professional.
Yeah, you gotta have that professional and you gotta have that you. Mix that professional and that you together, and people gonna always like you. That's what I always was taught.
What you want to talk about now? I'm kind of in the days like that really just happened.
Yeah, like, for instance, Rodney. I met Rodney when I first came here. I met Rodney, Tony, Lightskin. Lightskin was always one of the ones. If he see you, for instance, I could be sleeping in class. He gonna wake me up no matter I like it or not. He gonna wake me up and tell me do my work. And if I don't do my work, he's gonna make me do my work, even if that's taking my phone. That's telling the teacher, no matter what he gotta do, he gonna make us do our work. Like, one time we was just talking, and it was me, Rod, and we were just talking. Lightskin came over there. He just kept tagging me, do your work, do your work, do your work, do your work. And I'm right there, like, it was one of them sleepy days where you ain't want to do nothing.
Right.
And I'm right there, like, I don't feel like it. He like, no, do your work, do your work. Man, he got my school password and all that. I gave it to him because he always make sure I do my work. So he hopped on there. I was failing at the time. He hopped on there. He was getting on me every day of school. Made sure I came and all that. The next week I was passing. And that's why I hang around with people that's going to bring more motivation to me.
That's how it's supposed to be. They say your network determine your network.
Yeah.
So if you got a bunch of lames in your circle, you're gonna be a lame too.
Yeah.
But if you got guys that's driving it, you're gonna be a force.
Like, and then I was having a conversation. He don't go to the school, but I was having a conversation with one of my closest friends. His name Michi. And we was just sitting down. We was just thinking of what we can do to make some money. Because at the time, we had a couple hours in our pocket, but you gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah.
So we was holding on to that money to try to do something. So we wound up putting $150 in the clothing. So now we ready to open up our clothing brand. Then I just my mother went and invested in a studio. So now I'm ready to start getting free studio sessions because we investing in putting more stuff in the studio.
I'm just gonna do a guilty plug. We should set you up with your own podcast because then you could do a podcast to promote your clothing brand. People will listen to you, and when they like what you say, they're gonna buy your clothes. They're gonna rock it.
I want to work on that too. I definitely want to work on that too because I can get to the point where we could bring a lot of rappers in here. Like, for instance, Lil Ty, and like I always say, we gotta spend money to make money.
Facts.
Like,
I'm just starting a business right now, bro.
Yeah.
That's a stressful thing about it, man. Like, so many expenses.
Yeah, like, at first you count the equipment. You gotta get the equipment. After the equipment, I pay. Like, for instance, my homeboy, he do the interviews or whatever.
Yep.
He paid the rapper $300 and wound up putting that $300 into $1,500.
How you do that?
Because when you paying for artists to come somewhere and they well known, people gonna look into what they got to talk about. So they was just talking about a whole bunch of life and posted on YouTube. As soon as it went on YouTube, 1,000 views. Next day, 2,000 views. Next day, 3,000. Just kept going up. It hit like 50,000 views. Came in with 1,500 in his pocket, and I told him keep going. And one thing I can say, I only like to hang around motivators. If you ain't motivating, or if you ain't doing something to help yourself, I can't be around. That's all I say.
That's a good mindset.
Because people will get in your head sometimes, whether like it or not. If I'm chilling with somebody that's lazy, but my other homeboy just out there working, making money, but I'm in here with the person that's lazy, I'm gonna be broke. I ain't gonna have $1 in my pocket. I'm gonna still be asking my mouth for money. So I always hung around motivators. And if you ain't a motivator, or not even necessarily a motivator, somebody that want good for themselves, not somebody that's just sitting back lazy, want to be this person, want to be that person. I always was taught be yourself. Be yourself, love yourself. Everybody gonna love you. Because there's a lot of people out here. Most of these people in Baltimore just want to be who they not. I'm gonna say that. They want to be the next person or somebody who already made it. Like, a lot of people want to be young boy. Young boy is a bad influence.
I agree. Young boy. Well, I don't say I don't that's not that I dislike him because I don't know him, so I shouldn't say that. And actually, I'm not gonna hold you. When I see NBA Young Boy outside of rap, I actually do like what I see about him. And he seemed like a dude that just a little misunderstood, misguided, and probably been through a lot.
Those the ones that lost their fathers or their mothers. You just gotta keep your head up. All that trying to get back and all that all the time.
So let me ask you this. You speak really strongly on this. So what did it take for you to get this mindset? How come you ain't big on the get backs?
Because I did it before and realized it wasn't something that was worth it. Like, something to throw your life away, for real. Because you ain't gonna be dead, but prison is like a walking death.
That's real.
You sitting in there, you don't get no light. You can't wake up, go cook you some breakfast. You can't wake up, go hop on your game. You can't wake up, go get in your car and drive down the street to go to the store.
You got to fight and argue everything.
And on top of that, you got to depend on the person that's outside. Because you can't get your money if you sit in the jail cell. So you got to make sure a relative or a homeboy or a family member bringing you in money. That ain't worth it. And the only time I see jail is necessary if you have to see family. If it's about family and it's important.
What's an example of something that's important?
Like if it could ever come to a point where you and your family in danger. Like for instance, let's say this: you ever walk down the street with your family members into the wrong spot, and y'all ready to get robbed, or somebody ready to hurt one of your relatives. That is the only time I see you supposed to defend yourself, because it ain't no self-defense laws in Baltimore. It's gonna be times where you gotta defend yourself and it ain't gonna go your way. But if you do what you supposed to do, God got you.
Agreed.
Like for instance, the situation that happened with the bee when he had to wind up firing his firearm and put the person in a coma behind his daughter because he was ready to rob and probably killed if he ain't do what he had to do in front of his daughter. He beat the case, but I always say it ain't the lawyers, it ain't you, it ain't the judge. It's all depending on in that situation that you was in that got you in that courtroom. If you did right, God gonna got you. God got your back. That's all I say.
That's like Tupac got off. He popped those cops. He ain't do nothing wrong. That's why he got to quit it. And that was like in the 90s when nobody was getting a decision in the court.
and another thing I say, I wouldn't say I depend on police officers, because it's certain police officers.
Well, I wasn't saying that to go on a tangent about being anti-police. I just was bringing up a time where somebody did what they thought was right and God got them.
I say it ain't always what people make it seem like in life, where though you supposed to fight all the time or hate somebody all the time. When you out the way and not worry about nobody else, nobody can worry about you, because what is you doing?
I believe you with a quote. Be a samurai in the garden. Never be a gardener on the battlefield. A samurai in the garden means that I'm trained to be a warrior. You know, a samurai is bad man, do a lot of damage. But I know how to pull my sword and cut a flower. I don't have to cut nobody. I can still just cut a flower. Meaning I can be delicate and soft, even though I have the whole capacity to be destructive.
Yeah.
That should be the goal. Right? Versus just be soft, just be gentle, and then you end up in a situation where you need to be mean. You can be bad and you can't. But being a samurai is also key, because samurais are really sensitive and really, really well disciplined. So it's gonna take a lot to get him to be that destructive.
I always start with a quote like this. Quiet mouth, you can't really bend drum. I always say this. Sit, watch, listen to fools talk. Cause you laying back quiet, not in no drama, hanging around the right people. What can somebody say?
Exactly.
Now, no matter what, you gonna have a hate in your life. No matter if you make it to the NBA, you can be worldwide and everything.
Haters are signs that you're doing something right.
Yeah. I always took it as a hater bring me more motivation. Cause if you hating, you had to recognize me to hate.
Exactly.
And on top of that, you hating for something I'm doing good that you don't got. I just brought up light skin too.
You gotta go to next class?
We got next class?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm actually gonna take some of this and I'm gonna submit this in the NPR's podcast competition for you. You're the 9th grade or 10th grade?
9th.
You're gonna get a 9th grade entry. I just gotta find out how to take 10 minutes out of this to submit that. We're gonna start talking about your podcast. You're gonna be a regular guest on mine and whatever we just talked about with the Harlem Park. Thank y'all for listening.
Light skin right here too. Come in.
Oh, go ahead.
That's the one that makes sure all us.
That's one of the ones.
Him right here. We could be lying back doing nothing. This man gonna get off your nerves and tell you these words.
Good inspiration. It's a 9th grade class. All right, let me get back to some work. We'll be back soon, y'all.
Yeah.